I love harvesting potatoes, right? So I would just put a potato in the yard, and as a little kid, I'd help in my grandparents' garden, and then later in Australia here, my mum and I kind of made a little patch, and then in our latest house that we've lived rented for 4 years, we set up 3 large garden beds, and so I've been gardening more extensively and learning the tricks before I start a farm. I'd like to know if this goes wrong, this is what I'm meant to do to combat it.
That was Chilli, Donela, and you're listening to The Regenerative Journey.
From wherever we are, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia, recognising their continuing connection to this land, its waterways, the stars in the skies since time immemorial. We pay our respects to the elders, knowledge holders, and to all the generations of First Nations peoples who have nurtured their unceded sovereign lands for over 80,000 years and continue to do so today.
G'day, I'm your host Charlie Arnott, an 8th generational Australian regenerative farmer. And in this podcast series, I'll be diving deep and exploring my guests' unique perspectives on the world so you can apply their experience and knowledge to cultivate your own transition to a more regenerative way of life.
Welcome to The Regenerative Journey with your host Charlie Arnott.
G'day, welcome back to The Regenerative Journey and welcome to this interview with Chilli, Donela. She's 19. She's starting her regenerative journey. Actually, she's already started her regenerative journey some years ago in her vegetable garden with her mum and dad. It's a really compelling story. Mads, our governess, actually put me onto her some weeks ago on Instagram within 24 hours. Chilli had actually contacted us. She came down here a week later. We sat and had a chat together. She interviewed me for her YouTube channel. I interviewed her for The Regenerative Journey. She's amazing. At 19, she's already really clear on her passion, where she wants to take her life, the regenerative journey she's on, and the career she's going to follow. She started with the fruit and veggies. She's getting into small animals down on a rented farm in Tasmania, which is where they are now. And really pleased to sit down with her. She was gracious enough to leave some segments in the interview where she was quite emotional. She was happy to leave it. I'm really glad she was because it's all part of her journey, and it was about the catalyst, a really important catalyst for the direction she's now taken. I trust you enjoy this interview with Chilli, Donela as much as I did recording it for The Regenerative Journey. Chilli, we're on.
Yep.
Chilli, Donela with one L. Welcome to The Regenerative Journey. And welcome to, the back porch of a Hannah Minnow here. How are you?
Great.
Have you survived? You just interviewed me for, how long was it for, Dad?
40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Oh, wow.
Really? Okay, 40 minutes. You survived that?
Yeah, it went great.
You haven't left. That's good. Haven't gone, oh my God, that was so bad. I need to leave. So you're still here. That's awesome. So welcome to Hannah Minnow. You have travelled 3.5 hours to get here. I met you today, but very thankfully, Madeline, our governess, last week forwarded me a little video you did about what you're embarking on, which we'll get to. And as a result of that, I went, oh, this is cool. This girl's doing some great stuff. Clicked on follow you, and then before you know it, you've rung us. And then within a week, you're here. I think that's so cool. So thank you for making the effort. And thanks, Dad, for driving. Did you drive? Can you drive?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. Yes. Okay. You might have to drive home. Dad'd be exhausted by the end of this interview. So why don't you tell me a little, so thank you for coming up here. The day is the day before we're going to get some rain. The last week or two have been amazing autumn days, and but this is still a lovely day. So can you tell us a bit about how, where did life begin?
Where did life begin?
Let's go right back to day one.
Day one, I don't think I remember day one.
Why not?
Yeah.
Where was that? Where just to give a bit of context for your how you got to, because you're 19 now.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, that's my computer talking to me. Tell me, so where were you born? Where things all begin?
From memory, Westmead Hospital in Sydney.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. 19 years ago.
Yep.
19 plus.
19 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep. We were in Sydney, I think, for 4 years, and then we moved to the south coast in Jervis Bay, and now we're going to be moving to Tasmania.
Hang on, you don't get away with that. There's 19 years in the middle there somewhere.
Yeah.
So life in Sydney and then Jervis Bay, down the coast, and not farming, because you're here because we're going to talk about some farming, a very interesting initiative or journey you're about to embark on. So I want to get to that point, but just to set the scene, like, you weren't farming down Jervis Bay?
No. I don't know how many years it was, but we rented a house with a very small backyard. So I guess we've had gardens that we can maintain, but no farming, no chickens, land wouldn't allow that. So,
And you mentioned before that there was farming in your family's heritage background. Where was that? Where'd that all happen? What sort of style of farming was that?
Oh, well, so my mom's side, my grandpa, he lived in Whoop Whoop. He lived in an island in Finland.
Really?
So,
When you say Whoop Whoop, was it seriously called Whoop Whoop?
no. It's called,
I don't know.
It's
Could
called
have been.
Palisma.
Yeah.
And it's a little island and completely off grid, no electricity, fires, the only way you get warmth. Then,
Finland.
yeah, so he did like self-sufficiency kind of.
Wow.
If you needed meat,
Your grandfather.
Yeah.
Did you meet him?
Yeah. If you needed meat, you would go slaughter a moose and that sort of stuff.
Wow.
So that's my mum's side, but my dad's side, my grandparents and stuff like that, they had beautiful gardens with trees and fruit trees and berries and anything you could imagine. Yeah.
Sorry, where was that? That was in Finland?
That is in Lithuania and
okay.
Hungary and
yeah. And that's on, you say, dad's side?
Dad's side, yeah.
Right. So, wow, Lithuanian and Finn, kind of Finnish.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah.
That's me.
Wow. And that wasn't that many generations ago?
No. I only met my great auntie, if you say.
Yeah.
My grandma's sister. She has a beautiful backyard, but I've only heard of stories from Dad about my great-great-grandparents and stuff like that.
You're going to go back? You're going to go back one day?
To Lithuania?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dad?
Maybe.
He better drop in a travel agent on the way home. That's amazing. I've never been to Lithuania. I understand, beautiful, beautiful country. So do you think that has had something to do with your interest in gardening? Because I know that gardening is a big thing. I checked out your Instagram gardening page, and you're going bananas on there. It's so good.
Everything garden.
I watched everything garden. Yeah. Is it like everything _garden?
It's with a full, everything full garden. Yeah.
One word.
Yeah. If you search
You'll
it up,
find it. It'll pop up.
I'm big enough, let's say.
That's so cool. Because the first thing I looked at was chamomile, growing chamomile.
Yep. That's
the tea bag. Just like, hello, just open up a tea bag and you've got chamomile seeds. Yep. That is so cool. I would have thought chamomile was leaf, but it's a seed.
Yeah, it's a flower.
The flower. Mm-hmm. That's so cool. So how did you get into gardening? We'll get to how you got to be so big on Instagram, because I'm interested to know that. But because I could do with some tips, right? I'm not really on anything. But what was the thing about gardening? Is it because you had a bit of a backyard? Was anyone else in the family instrumental in that? Did you do gardening at school and it was like, oh wow, this is cool?
Well, I guess it's in the blood, right? Mm. But I love harvesting potatoes, right? So I would just put a potato in the yard, and as a little kid, I'd help in my grandparents' garden, and then later in Australia here, my mum and I kind of made a little patch, and then in our latest house that we've rented for 4 years, we set up 3 large garden beds, and so I've been gardening more extensively and learning the tricks before like I start a farm. I'd like to know if this goes wrong, this is what I'm meant to do to combat it and that sort of stuff. And yeah, so I've just been growing from pots and garden beds, and I've just had a passion for it. It's just smart.
And how about was it experimental, or did you read a lot of books and kind of hone your skills first, or is it just like I'm just going to open up a chamomile bag and grow some chamomile? Or how did that all happen?
Well, chamomile was an experiment, but I love reading books, regenerative, biodynamic, and all that sort of stuff, and also YouTube. So a ton of YouTube videos. Yeah, they're great. You can anything from how to butcher a chicken to like how to farm regeneratively, and podcasts too. I've done a lot of listening.
A lot of research.
Yeah.
And then obviously the important thing is to apply that, right? So yeah, that's great. And Mum's been a great help in the garden.
Well, when I was young, but
Yeah.
then it became my thing.
More your thing. How's Dad in the garden? It's just over there. He's not very good, is he?
Produce, let's say. Yeah.
He's good at eating it.
Yeah.
But you got well. That's important too, because no point producing it if you haven't got a a willing and able and hungry, customer base. Do you sell it to Dad?
No.
Do you ever go out there and find him just digging up potatoes? Like go, Dad, they're not ready.
No.
He's just harvesting when he shouldn't be. No,
Doesn't happen.
He's very obedient.
He's good.
Did he get caught once and he's not never going to do that again?
No.
For those who haven't worked it out, Daddy's just sort of off camera, so I'm teasing him a bit. So what happened before the veggie thing? So schooling was when I say normal, you went to primary school, you went to secondary school up to a point. Was there anything in the schooling sort of that led you down this track? Did you do subjects that were kind of anything to do with farming or gardening or nature?
I didn't really didn't have any chance to have agriculture as a subject, but I guess what schooling did to me was show me that I don't want to go to university and study something and then have a 9-to-5 corporate job. It kind of showed me that I want to do farming, I want to do gardening, that sort of stuff.
And that's what you did?
Yeah.
So what was it at school that kind of, was there any particular subjects, hoping none of your teachers are going to listen to this, any subjects that made you just go, this is bollocks, or this is just not what I want to do? And how were your other student friends? Were they going, oh, don't be silly, this is a school and this is what you got to do? Were you kind of a bit on your own in that kind of way of thinking?
Well, yeah, because I was doing distance education, so it was all online. So you have your friends through chat, WhatsApp, and whatever like that. But no, I was the maverick, let's say. I went that path. And subjects, I don't know. I was pretty good at school. Nothing was saying that I'm failing and that's why I should go and do something else. I just felt like regenerative farming and that sort of way is something I want to pursue because I enjoy it.
And did you actually do any school classroom sort of through your primary or secondary? Or was it mainly distance?
So primary was all classroom,
yeah.
public school. And then I went 1 year to high school, a local high school, which I absolutely hated.
Yeah.
So we went the distance education route.
Good on you. And when was that? Because I know in the COVID kind of time, there was a lot of interest in people felt like they weren't allowed at school in some cases. The school shut down and there were months and months of in-home learning. But that really, and certainly for us, it made us think about the school system and is this really something we want to be part of? I understand a lot of people looked at homeschooling and distant ed sort of stuff. Would any of your other friends do that, or you really you're the only one?
Distance ed. I actually got a few of my friends to do the same school as I did
Cool.
because I was showing how much I enjoyed it and how much better it was compared to face-to-face school. But as far as COVID, I started it way back. So
Before then.
yeah.
So let's go to, so gardening has been a big thing. You are growing food. Are you selling it to other people, or is it dad eating it?
No. I didn't really think about selling it because I didn't have enough to sell.
Yeah.
It was barely enough to keep us going with vegetables and fruit wise. So, but in the future, I think I definitely like to. We are going to be in Tasmania in a half an acre, and they have quite a big garden bed area, and I'm thinking maybe if we have excess, it would be a good idea to sell some organic produce, biodynamic produce.
Good on you. So that's going to happen pretty soon, isn't it? You're heading down there in only a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
2 weeks.
that's a big adventure.
Yes.
So you'll be saying goodbye to your garden? Yeah.
It's already gone. We had a lucky person come through Gumtree, and he dug up everything. He took all the pots, and it's going to a good home. We've got him.
That's good to know. Yeah. And then the garden itself, you may not know who's going to move in next, but that's irrelevant. You'll be well and truly gone.
Yeah.
How many years did you actually put into that garden?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Almost 4.
Good on you. And tell me about Instagram. Like, how did you? What started that? You just doing some videoing. When this is cool, I'll put it up. And then was it a real? I'm interested because I love how people can just turn something that they do every day into something that's really interesting for other people. So you just started posting stuff.
Yeah, I just.
You're good at it though, because you've got a nice little story, really kind of thing with going on. You're creative like that.
Yeah, I liked photography and videography, so I thought, why not just photo my veggies and put it on Instagram. It started slow, but then I got a few reels that went viral, and the account took off.
Which ones?
The chamomile one was the first one to go viral, and then it was
what's viral?
My viral.
No, yeah.
Went to 20,000 or 40,000 views.
Wow.
And I was getting 800 to 1,000 views at that time. And then another video, which was what they called a point of view video of organic produce and everything like that. And that one got to 1 million views.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. And did you see your following spike?
Yes,
just go bananas?
I think I got 30,000 followers from that.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I need one of them.
Yeah.
I need that. Can you give me some help? Not this afternoon.
I can try. Yeah.
I could do it 30,000 extra. That would more than double my makeup.
You've got 25,000?
Oh, 20-something thousand. Maybe it's 24,000 now. No, maybe it's not even that. I don't know. I shouldn't dwell too much on that, should I? But I do find it fascinating that what actually piques people's interest, and they can just go bananas. So the good news is, even though you're moving, you'll still continue that down there, and that's a whole other story in itself, isn't it? Like your new journey, your new chapter of your life.
Mm-hmm. That garden account will definitely go with me, and it is connected to a website because my mum does web design. She helped me to set up a website, everythingforgarden.com.au, and it was supposed to sell seeds. I sold organic non-GMO seeds, but that
you produced.
Some that I produced and some that I got from other farmers, and but that didn't really go because there's a lot of big companies who sell seeds. So maybe I have to change that business idea.
Oh, really? So people you didn't get the support for I guess it's seed collecting and just heirloom breeds and things and varieties.
So seed collection.com.au is this big one in Australia who sells quite a good variety, and I think the market isn't for that. Seeds isn't the right market.
You see, you're going to pivot.
Yes.
What is it? Can you tell us, or no one's going to listen to this, so no one's going to
Sure.
Not because of you. Because of no. So if you got, you don't have to tell me. Like if you're hatching a plan, then don't let it out of the bag too soon.
I do have ideas. I think of making some grow guides, like online grow guides of how to grow this plant and how to start this thing.
Yep.
I think that might be the way to go.
Yeah. So tell me, let's get to the video that I saw of you. You were saying, "Hey, I'm." I can't remember if you said you were going to Tassie, but you said that you are going to be a farmer, regenerative farmer, and you said it with such resolve, and that what piqued my interest. I guess that's Mads. Well, I'm not sure how she came across it, but Mads, showed me, and I went, "This is cool." Did we do this at the beginning of the interview? Did I tell everyone how I got to meet you?
Yes.
Did I? I did, yeah. So, and that's the cool thing, and that's how you got to be here. So why? So you're going to explore. So you're going to do veggies down there, but what's the next step? Like, why a career in it? Because I imagine that you could do lots of different things. Like you're 19. It's great to have set your sights on something so specifically now. Having said that, regenerative farming is a very broad thing, isn't it? That could be any number. It could be chickens. There's one of the chickens. I hope the pigs don't chase the chickens. My dog, who we saw before, he does often chase the chickens. So tell me, why? Yeah, like what's exciting about the move down there? Because that for a lot of, I imagine a lot of kids who are 19 going to Tasmania with mum and dad would not be a highlight. Just because it's like 19 is like, I've got the world at my feet and I'm doing all sorts of things. But you're really quite determined and you've got a real set on it, haven't you?
Yeah, so I think because the property that we will rent will be half an acre, I definitely want to do chickens, heritage layer chickens, veggie garden, and maybe a few goats. I don't know how I can start that into a business. Maybe the egg-laying heritage eggs is a good business idea, but from that then on, I hope that my YouTube channel can grow and support me for the future, because then I want to either work on someone else's land. What you said in the interview, what was that? Not land sharing.
Profit sharing.
Profit sharing. Yeah. Or if things go super, super well, then I would love to buy my own land and just go on from there and start a regenerative farm and make a business out of it.
So YouTube's a big thing, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And you're already on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah. How are you going with that?
It is going. The hardest part is starting it, obviously, and getting to 1,000 subscribers so you can get monetized. I'm at 550.
And how long have you been doing that for?
Oh, maybe 3 months.
Cool. Yeah, you'll get there in no time. So the idea is to somewhat document your journey.
Yeah, my regenerative journey, and interview farmers and learn from them, and let people on YouTube learn from the farmers as well.
Who are you going to? So you interviewed me before. Have you got anyone else? Have you interviewed others? And who have you got lined up to interview?
Well, I have interviewed a handful of farmers around us. I haven't gone quite far as in Queensland or Victoria. It's just been in New South Wales. I've done Talthra Place Free Range. I've done Jamboree Mountain Farm. I've done Musset Holdings in the Highlands, and I've done a sort of spontaneous donkey interview because I love donkeys and I wanted to see how.
With the donkey or the donkey handler?
With the donkey breeder.
Yeah, where was that nearby, near home?
That was in the Southern Highlands.
Really? Yeah. We have a donkey. Wesley is up there. Is that? Oh no, it's not that. There's a mini up there. I only say donkey, my ears prick up because Ange, my wife, loves donkeys. So you might have to pass on those details if that's okay, because I'm sure, actually probably shouldn't pass them on, because if you do to me or to her, then I'll end up with 3 donkeys here tomorrow. So who else? Is anyone else that you? So Tasmania. Tasmania is a bit of a hub of regenerative farmers down there. Is there anyone that you'd like to interview? I'm very happy to help you make connections down there
Well,
at any time.
I don't have anything set in stone yet. I would love some suggestions if you could please give me some. I definitely want to go and explore the Fat Pig Farm.
Yeah.
I have sort of a connection there with I forgot to mention Laura, who is at Feather and Bone in Sydney. So I interviewed her as well.
Cool.
And she said she would forward to Matthew Evans.
Right.
Yes.
There's some. He's fantastic, and he's very funny, and he's such a lovely guy. So that's a definite. There are some. We can talk offline about. There's a lot of people down there that you could definitely interview, and catch up with. So tell me, what are some of the things? Where do you see yourself? You asked me what my 10-year thing was. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like, what's the ideal kind of scenario? And it may not necessarily be in Tasmania doing something, but in terms of general regenerative farming, what would you love to be doing? How would your life look at that point?
Hopefully on a farm, if I can manage it. I'd love to really do egg-laying chickens, heritage breeds, because they're stronger. They don't eat as much. They don't need as much supplementation feed. I'd love to have a little bit of everything. They'll go crazy because, you need variety in regenerative ag. So do rotational grazing, cows, goats, chickens, maybe pig. But yeah, I'd love to have a fruit orchard so I can do organic fruits and maybe make preserves and jams out of that and then market that, sell that. Or berries. I'd love to do berries because Tasmanian climate is perfect for berries.
They do good berries down here, don't they?
Yes.
Cherries.
Yeah.
Really good cherries. What about permaculture? Have you sort of what sort of? I mean, I won't say formal training, but what sort of? Have you gone down any particular routes in terms of done permaculture courses? Does that interest you? Yeah.
Yeah, it interests me, but I haven't done any courses so far. All I've done is reading books and YouTube videos.
Hold on, yeah. Is there any course you want to do?
Well, it's a big thing, but if the world works out, I'd love to go to America and go to Joel Salatin's poly-based farm. That would be amazing to do an internship, but if that doesn't work out, then I'll find something else.
Well, I'm going to be there in about a month. Hang on. No. Yeah, in maybe mid-July to drop in and interview him again and check out Poly. I haven't been to Polyface before, so I'll put a good word in for you. But I mean, you'd be the perfect candidate if you've already got the experience, you got the veggies, and whatever happens between now and in Tasmania and when you get over to Polyface, like they'd be. I mean, I don't know how the visa sort of stuff works, but that'd be awesome. There's probably no better place on the planet for learning that sort of stuff. Yeah. Wow. Anyone else in the States you want to work with?
Oh, well, I follow a few YouTubers like Justin Rhodes, who's great. He follows Joel Salatin's advice and principles and stuff. But I don't know. I haven't planned that out. I haven't set goals for that.
Anything else in your 10-year sort of plan?
Nothing really. Then just work towards that regenerative farm. I just want to make that happen.
And tell me, you asked me a question about food. What are your thoughts on sort of access to food, the current state of, food generally, but maybe more specifically to some of those items that are harder to find because of regulations and bureaucracy and red tape? What's been your experience with that, and what are your thoughts on what people can do to kind of combat that?
My experience? Well, I have at our local fresh food market. They have tried to sell raw milk as pet consumption only, but then the council got onto them and they've stopped it. I've also found a farmer when we went to Queensland to visit a friend. We visited a farmer in Queensland who gave us some raw milk. Won't disclose his name because then he'll get in trouble again. But he got in trouble for selling raw milk, and so he stopped it.
He's got a dairy, cow milk.
He's got a dairy farm, but he was trying to sell it again for cosmetic purposes.
Yeah.
Bath milk.
Bath milk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I often bathe in cow milk. I think it's much better to consume it
It's great.
for the skin than drinking it. Yeah. So he ran into trouble.
Yeah. So he stopped it. So he only gives it to babe.
Yeah. And that's just going to happen, isn't it? Like people aren't going to. I hope people don't. Especially in the milk. Talk about milk and having dairies, whether it's cow, or goat, or whatever. I mean, I just hope that people don't give up and go, oh, it's all too hard. I can understand why, because it's it's their decision. But I just trust that people will find a way around it.
I hope so. Because the food we're eating nowadays is absolute rubbish. I don't think you can call it even food. But that's another discussion.
Well, let's have a discussion.
Okay.
What's been your experience? Have you had, family illness, or have you had experiences in kind of, that good nutritious food was help people heal, or that the terrible food actually made them sick? What's your experience with that?
Well, so like recently we've kind of cleaned up our diet. We've realized we've woken up to everything in the supermarkets and saying like, hey, bread is meant to be flour and water or sourdough and yeast, and not all these emulsifiers and lecithins and stuff like that. So we've started making our own sourdough. We make our own kefir and sauerkraut, and we buy our beef in bulk. We get a hind quarter, grass-fed, grass-finished beef from our butcher. And regarding health issues, I don't know. Well, depends on what Dad says. Can I?
Yeah.
But what?
No, you don't have to.
Dad, he's got chronic fatigue and everything like that, and he's started on the carnivore diet, and he's lost 20-something kilos. Anyway,
16.
16.
16.
Going
Okay. Well,
I just saw him eyeing off that chicken a minute ago. He's hungry.
Yeah, so eliminating all that rubbish from the diet really improves the immune system and everything like that. And for instance, if we had raw milk, that would be amazing because all that bacteria and
you should take some with you. Take a bottle when you go. Yeah. I'm so pleased to hear that. Only because if that's your Edwin, your health journey, that's fantastic. Because I'm not strict carnivore, but I have very consciously since early February, been on meat, dairy. Unfortunately, last Friday I went to an alternative health doctor and he said, I should probably start off eggs for a while, because he sort of did some kinesiology and thought that that my muscle testing and I should stay off the eggs for a bit, which is very sad. But I'm thrilled to hear that, because the more I look into the carnivore diet, the more I see the benefits. You might follow Dr. Anthony Chaffee. Yeah, there's a few guys. Edwin's getting slowly dragged into this interview, isn't he? He's actually edging a little bit closer. He's not sure if he'd go and eat that chicken or come over here. But Anthony Chaffee, and you've probably Sean Baker in the States. We can talk offline. There's so many really interesting science-based stuff going on in that space right now. It's fantastic. Wow. So that's pretty compelling stuff, isn't it? Like it's like a family. Thank you for sharing that too, by the way. Like a family there's nothing like family illness or a challenge to sort of help hone one's focus on what needs to be done, or that's whilst that can be a challenge, it can be a real inflection point in a journey, though, can't it? Has your health all good? If I can ask, is that?
Yeah, well, depends on how controversial you want to get to mainstream media and everything like that.
Oh no, we go deep.
Okay, then.
I've got no qualms. You should just check out who I follow on Instagram. You'll know exactly where I'm sitting. All that sort of stuff.
Well, yeah. So my parents, after the first COVID vaccine, it was a big mistake, and they got very sick. Yeah, and I almost lost my mom and my dad. Yeah. It really played a toll on my health as well, because it's tough seeing your parents go through that, and you want to help them and make them feel better, but, it obviously takes a toll on your health as well, and stress and anxiousness, and so it messes up with your adrenal glands and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been worse, but I'm getting better, because we've been on supplementation and good diet and positive energy and stuff like that, and I think we're on the way up. Yeah.
You both look pretty fit and healthy, and thank you for sharing that. And there's nothing like, there's no growth stimulant like pain, and it's not something that anyone wants to think is a good thing at the time, but
Yeah.
I guess that's contributed to where you are now. Not here at Hanamino, but, a new life.
Definitely.
Tasmania, regenerative farming, diet.
Self-sufficiency.
Yeah,
Rely on yourself.
totally.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that. So I trust that you guys are kind of on the other side of that, heading in the right direction.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's great. Well, I don't doubt for a minute that the move to Tasmania, to a beautiful part of the world, with the motivation you clearly have, and the experience you have, and the drive and the support, that's got to be, the best thing you can be doing right now, And there's again, as I said, there's probably no greater motivator than, moving away from a less than desirable situation from a health point of view to somewhere that with a new filter, a new filter about food, what you want to put in your body, and the people you hang out with, and the the things you think, and how you spend your time. Do you think if your family hadn't experienced those challenges, do you think you still would have been on this journey of growing food in the garden and thinking regenerative farming is what is your future?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely have had this passion for a long time, but I definitely think it's been accelerated to get to that.
But isn't it a good thing you already had that there? Because I would imagine the desperation for a lot of people, and I know quite a few who had not dissimilar experiences in that period of time, and they didn't know what to do, and they had no foundation for, and they didn't know where else to go. So they would watch the evening news, and they would do what they were told.
Yep.
And they would not consider food as a source of, food is medicine. And they still hung around the same people. And they are far worse now than they were back then, and on many different levels, physically, mentally, and dare I say spiritually. So what an amazing thing that whilst it was a low point, what a springboard for you, yeah? Wow. You must be pretty proud, Dad.
She's a great person.
She's amazing. Yep. There's a reason why Mad sent me that the other day. There's a reason you're here, I reckon. And there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. So let's... you sing out any time you want a hand, if you want some contacts in Tassie or anywhere else.
Yes,
I mean, you're not going to just go to Tassie and never come back. You'll have to come back to the mainland at some point, yeah? So when you do, or even before you go, just I can so easily get you in touch with, there's a lot of people in our network that we can get you in touch with. You pick a species, chickens, pigs, sheep, cattle, whatever, plants, trees, and don't hesitate to sing out, and specifically Tasmania, and we'll keep in touch. Yeah,
Yes,
this will go on my very, low key YouTube. It might get a few more followers from it, because we better do an interview every month so I can keep up with you. Is there anything else you wanted to? Can we do a quick 10-minute Q&A after this?
Yeah, sure.
Which will be, I'll do a separate little thing. I've got some very standard quick questions. It's for our subscribers who get this sort of extra bonus stuff. But before I hit you with those questions on a separate little recording, anything else you want to say? Well, where can people reach you? So we've got everythingforgarden.com.au. That's your website.
That's the website.
Watch this space, because there's going to be different little model going on there. Everything for Garden on Insta.
That's my Instagram for the gardening one. Then I have Chilli Donela's another Instagram.
Yep.
And then I have my YouTube, Chilli Donela again.
Okay. So
Very easy.
We're going to make sure all those handles, is that what they're called? Handles are on our show notes. And watch this space, eh? Look out, Tasmania. Oh, it's Crimson Rosellas there. They're noisy, aren't they? I love them at this time of year, but I don't like them when they eat all my fruit. Very noisy. Are there any fruit? No, there's no crab apples left on there. There's a lovely sign. Chilli, thanks so much. We'll do a little session after this, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so vulnerable and being so open and honest about your life and how you got to this point.
Well, thank you for having me on this interview, and thanks for letting me interview you.
Pleasure.
This podcast is produced by Rhys Jones at Jaeger Media. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to subscribe, share, rate and review. For more episode information, please head over to www.charliearnott.com.au.